My name is Jane Corbin. I'm a reporter for Panorama, and I've been one for more than 2 decades. It makes me the longest-serving reporter on the programme, but I am the youngest at heart. The first investigation I did for Panorama was in Cambodia. I went there to look at the genocide, to find out who was responsible and the scars that had been left on that country. I vividly remember standing in front of a huge pile of skulls. It was frightening, it was terrifying, but it set the tone for the kind of work that I would do in the years to come. The worst thing that happened to me on Panorama was a couple of years ago. I was filming with the British Army Major on the streets of southern Iraq. The atmosphere was bad. You knew that there were bad people out there, and we knew we had to get back to safety. We split up. He got into his Land Rover to go back to base. We got into ours. We went different ways, different streets. He was blown up just a couple of minutes after he left us. We heard that something had happened on the radio. We heard the explosion. We saw the flames. I had to go back to base and stand there and report it. The worst thing was that he was dead, but the second worst thing is it could have been us. It was just one of those things, 50-50. His convoy was hit, ours wasn't. I think the film I'm most proud of, well really it's cheating because it's a series of films, are those I've made about al-Qaeda, Osama bin Laden, and the rise of Islamic terrorism. I say this because I like to think I did recognise the threat that he posed way before 9/11. In fact, in 1997 and 98, when I made my first films about him for Panorama, I stood on those smoking ruins of the World Trade Center at Ground Zero, and I reported and investigated the 9/11 hijackers, exactly how they did it, how they slipped under the radar. And those are the films I'm proudest of. I've definitely been in a lot of sticky situations with Panorama, usually in a war zone. I remember going from Albania into Kosovo as the Serb forces were withdrawing. That was really scary. We were driving along the road, we were alone. We had an Albanian translator with us, and against us were coming a whole sullen mass of Serbian soldiers, Serbian armour. I was terrified that they would grab us, but worst of all, what would happen to our female interpreter if they caught her. The best thing about my job is that no 2 days are ever the same, particularly for me because I tend to report from abroad. So, you know, I could be somewhere really cold and snowy one day, I could be in the desert the next, I could be, I don't know, sitting around having dinner with a sheikh one day, I could be reporting from the centre of New York the next. It's always different, it's always challenging, it's just fascinating.